Anxious, yeah. I'm always anxious. I was just sick today. Anxious. What are other feelings that you have when you have research assigned to you? Frustration. Man, you guys are the brave ones. Because you guys came in today. Yeah. Do you like the idea of research or being researched? I can't stand it. I've had kids come in and they literally said, "Carrie, can I talk to you?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And I said, "I just read an article about my hometown and my brother, he OD'd, he died from drugs. And now I'm reading this article that talks about suicide and drug use and this kind of stuff that's happening in our local communities. And right now, like, I could feel like my hair standing up on the back of my neck because I don't like that at all. The idea of researchers in our native communities. And I want you to know that, like, I'm still standing up. My whole head's tingling because I hate it. You know, I don't like someone researching us. And it's really important to me that you find out what you like. And it's really important to me that you pursue it and keep going after it. Because when you're working with Angela Newton, she's awesome. She's going to tell you about these ways that, you know, how you think and how to help yourselves and how we can make life better for each other. You might not all choose that path, but man, we're all here to make a better world, right? But I really appreciate when you consider going into graduate school. I went to graduate school. I never thought I would for library science. And I'm just completing today my team. I have 4 librarians that work together, and we're researching indigenous methodologies and how we can have a better library to support our indigenous researchers. So we make more researches that you're gonna pursue your dreams and have your masters, and you're gonna promote research, something that makes the world better for us all. But indigenous people making it better for our indigenous communities, that's what we hope for. But these feelings that happen with research is, to me, this is how it feels like. My brain, because I'm frustrated. I read so much and I don't know exactly, what's the question? What's the question that you're trying to research? If you think of like Tyler Kimbrell, he's always on it, like, what's the question? What are you trying to follow? Communicate it, you know? Come up with a really good question, but piece by piece, we'll get it all figured out. And for librarians, they actually train us. It's like, you know, when these students come walking in, their feelings are going to be like, their anxieties are going to be high until they make a decision of what you're going to research. And then, it chills out for a while. Then you're like, oh God, now I got to find some articles or something, and the teacher wants scholarly reviewed articles, and where do I find them? I can't find them. Now there's like 200,000 of them that I'm supposed to read. And then you kind of lower it down, you can find your keywords, and you calm down a little bit. Oh, I read one. It feels a little bit better. And it's kind of like all of a sudden, this rock comes out of the river, and you step on it, and you move forward. It's like, I understand the who, what, why, and when. I'm building my background knowledge. And now I'm going to use those keywords and look for the next one. And one might fit, and then another rock comes out. And you might not know your path. You might go this way, and that way, and this way, and that way. And you might end up in a whole new place, but that's the learning part. So don't be worried when you feel like that. All right? We've been really, really thorough, I believe, on setting up. Are we MLA today? Yeah. On MLA format. Who's the fastest person that could set up an MLA paper in here? Like right now, if I said, let's write an MLA paper, who's the fastest person that could do that right now? Open up Microsoft Word and let me see do it. What are you going to do? Oh, she turns it on now. Micah has his open. He's setting up his preferences. You gotta go through that. If we start making our steps easier, she's on one, setting up her preferences. Micah has it up now. I have one in the front that has a Microsoft Word up, two in the front that have the Microsoft Word up, and what they're doing is they're looking for Times New Roman or Arial and switching it to size 12. We have another one doing it by hand. All right, so Shauna's going to show us how she's doing it. Because hers is set up now, and her computer just turned off. So did that. So everybody watch her steps, how she did that. Watch. Look. You can almost count. Probably within a minute. Ow. Here's her paper. So everybody got it? Did you see what she did? Yeah. And she's on it. And then tell your friends. Watch how they set it up. Thank you, Grandma. That's right. So formatting, the wonderful things is, there's so many things that we don't have to do right now with our research. Do you know why your teachers do that? Require MLA. MLA is Modern Language Association, and it's required by humanities. So your English, your art classes, communications, those are the ones that are usually requiring MLA. When you switch to psychology and when you switch to American Indian Studies, and that's when they'll switch to APA on there. But we should be thinking like they're just as easy, either batting with your right hand or batting or swinging with your left hand on there. And you're just going to double click up in there. Another one, and a lot of you use Google Drive. You can also look for a format up in the top of the reports of Google Drive or the Google Docs, and they will do the same thing. So there's just like a few differences on there. From that page, I just erase and then start putting in my paper. I don't keep the same like for a works cited page on there. Now, one of the students had, let's just kind of hear like some of the topics that you've had to research either right now or that your teacher's talking about that you're going to have to research, or something that you had to research. What do you have? What are some subjects? And I'm erasing our anxiousness and frustration. But we know it's going to be there. But we're going to be all right, right? We know that those peaks are going to be in there. And it's just going to keep going up and down. So what are some of the subjects that you've had? Or that you will have this semester? What subjects will you be studying or that you've had to study? Disorders. What are some of the disorders?
All I want to do is paranoid personality disorder.
Is there anybody else that has one that's? What was it, agoraphobia? And help me with spelling on there. Like that? If not, we're about to find about like that. Are there some more? Do you have one? Alzheimer's. I know there's a Z in there.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's. We'll find out. Any others? Oh man, you're all in her class, aren't you? Do you have one? Maybe you had to study. Have you had some? Any subjects?
Tribal sovereignty.
Tribal sovereignty? Okay. And our teachers give us this one thing. And the next thing that we have to do, our next step of our research is finding all of our keywords on there. So your next step for me right now, I'm looking for definitions of the who, what, why, when, and where. Does your teacher require you to identify a group of people that you're studying? Is it like PTSD of veterans? Is it PTSD of children of alcoholics? Is it PTSD of teenagers? Is it PTSD of...
Usually just want this more community for you to explain.
Okay. Awesome. So something that you could then identify a group. All right, so then you'll have a facet inside there. So you'll usually identify a group within there and then looking for the effects. But let's look at our keywords on there. Start looking at your keywords for some of these subjects that we have. So you can take either your subject or another one, and we're going to kind of go through the process on it. And hopefully today you'll have some resources that you can begin reading on there. Oh, I am so sorry. You know what? I went into Mozilla, because my laptop functions on Mozilla. But I really found out that our databases don't work well with Mozilla. So I really recommend Chrome on there. And going into the library, I always remember or recommend backing up so that you're trying Trio reference on here. Because when we're finding our who, what, why, when, and where of our subjects, when you start with those reference, like your encyclopedias and your dictionaries, you're going to come out with one resource, which is definitely a definition. And having a definition from a really nerdy source helps. Not just dictionary.com. And so Credo Reference has a whole bunch, I don't know how many, something like 270 different like encyclopedias inside there. But these sound like Dictionary of Forensic Psychology, from the Encyclopedia of Women and Gender, Handbook of Forensic Psychology. But those sound a lot better than dictionary.com, right? All right. Plus, it's made with tools just for you. So when you're given a subject and you have no clue what the subject is, it's good to get a definition as one of your sources. And up at the top is where you'll find your tools, where you can use your quotes for citing. So you're given your citations. Since I have my paper already up, I'm going to just use my paper as a place to store. So I just started. Erase somewhere in there. I don't like the last page, you know, the works cited on that format. And I insert, I have a page break at the top. And these that are generated, they have some mess ups in them. You can see how that lady's name is like all capitals. And Angela Noonan, you know, she'll notice that. So you do have to use your brain. Be aware of this thing right here, where when we paste that, use the middle clipboard. Watch. Now I don't have to switch anything. Use the middle clipboard because it merges that formatting inside there. Woo-hoo. Now I just need to retype this Betty's name. I'm not even going to try to say that one. And when we have these, here's another one for your hanging indent. You can do them by hand, or else you can click. If we're doing it by hand, the hanging indent. I'm going to choose this middle one, which I can't do in the morning because I had too much coffee. I'm just trying to grab the middle one. And that grabs it over. So you can do them by hand, or else you can go into this paragraph, teeny tiny box and drop down and ask for the hanging indent right here. I remember the day that I spent 45 minutes trying to figure that out. If you get stuck for like 20, message me and I'll click on it. And I'll put a little video, I'll record it, and then send it to you. Or else you could just go on to Google and you can ask it. Do you guys have any questions? Okay. Nothing new yet? These are probably receipts. Trio reference is kind of cool because it gives you a when you do this browse, you can click on a mind map when you're getting started, and it will break it up for you so you can see the main concepts. So when I was saying that we want more search terms for PTSD, that's one of the things that we can use to find additional terms, like psychological trauma. Oh boy, that's a good one. I see years of therapy right here. But we have struggled through it. And this is nice because this format, they're actually doing your searching and the results are right here. And you have your 14 results. Credo reference also works as a portal. Because once you start going into the articles, there's usually a link to our other resources on here. Where you can hop back to the library catalog or the other databases. I'm going to show you a new resource that we have. So try hopping over here. And I just have to give it a plug. So going into EBSCO, and then you hit choose databases. If you make certain that they're all chosen, it's going to include these new ones. And so these are the books that are in here. And there are entire books that are in there. Right now it's just a trial. But maybe there's a text that we want to see in here. PTSD. Notice your drop downs in EBSCO because they have a lot of keywords. Remember those keywords are going to be the items that really move you forward. So I have 470 books that are on PTSD. And we never even had to check out a book on there. I don't know if we wanted to hit any teenagers or I'm trying to try. No, kicked out at the pass. Native American. Cross my fingers. Oh. So 3 are set with teams. And then those books are full length. And then you can download those on your devices if you want it. And most folks will say, wait, we want something short. Just so you know, that was a commercial for the books though. But if we open those up, choosing our databases, we might have some better ones. So we're just searching from some different items. How many do we have here? How many results on this one?
I say 96 or 98.
Yeah, 98 on there. But look. This one, there's nothing there. This one, there is. So if we click on full text, that'll just make it so that they're not. This is post-traumatic stress disorder and HIV risk behaviors among rural American Indian, Alaska Native women. That's one of those ones that just puts the hair out on my back and my head. But at least I see that each one of these have access to them. So we have 48 of them that we have access to. I'm going to hop out of there. And EBSCO is good for real general, and you're going to be okay looking at EBSCO for these topics here. They won't be okay once you start going into a tribe. When you go real specific on it, it's not going to really help you that much. But if you go to ProQuest, that one will really help. So going back out. And going into this ProQuest one, that one has a lot more research on mental health issues, on health issues. And I clicked on ProQuest and then I clicked on advanced search. So try putting in, go to ProQuest and try putting in one of these topics in there. And then be real specific with it. So go to ProQuest and try one of those topics. And then try to use one of those facets, how we were talking about a different group of people. So if you're trying your disorder, and if it's teenagers, or if it's grandmas, or elderly, ethnic group, or whichever that group is that you easily identify. So we're going into ProQuest. We're not searching ProQuest. So go back into the Haskell site. We have to go into it on that Haskell site. Because then they know we pay for it. And so I clicked on the blue box. And you could do the same thing and do the same searches on your phone if you had to. So click on the blue box. I don't like the big Google search box, so I click on advanced search. And now type in there. Now I'm going to start getting bossy with it. If I go and search PTSD, I have 69,000 results. And what do we have, like 98 or something on the other one? This is 69,000 results on it. I mean, the amount of information is incredible when we talk about healthcare systems. We have also criminal justice in here, which is pretty awesome. And now I'm going to give my facet in there. PTSD and Oneida. I want to know if my tribe is in there. There's 20. I don't know how clear they are. And I back out. Native American. It's always a search between broad and narrow. I click on full text, but it doesn't really change that much. But these are pretty nerdy. Comparative content analysis of alcoholism treatment programs with a focus on Native American alternative. We can be bossy and say, we want something that's done in the last 12 months. Don't give me anything that's old as dirt. Who's using sweat lodges for intergenerational trauma and substance abuse? That one might be just right on the money for some folks. And once I start pulling them up, then they give me the tools. And these articles are long usually. They're long, and if you just read the first 2 pages right now, it'll feel better. And sometimes those, you remember we go up and down with anxiety on these. I had someone that was so anxious about having to read one of the articles. They said, just sit by me. They actually called me at home on a Sunday. And they said, can you meet me in there at 1 o'clock? I was like, okay. And it was just funny because we just read it out loud in here. That's all we did. And it was a short article. I mean, it was like a magazine article. So you never know if you're going to get magazine articles in here or journal articles. But I understand it. I just understand when you get all nervous with it. And then trying to decide what's important to use in your paper. But man, if you read 2 pages of a couple articles, it really gives you that background where it's just filling in gaps. And like you are building a house or a wall, that's that foundation that you're building your report on. And Teresa Nezabah Marsh from Northern Ontario, and David C. Marsh, probably her husband, and Julie Azawagosh, looks like a First Nation college, the tribal college. Those are the kind of articles that you want to use. Yeah, there's that indigenous research right there. That's awesome. That's from like tribal universities, the people that are in there. Yeah, that makes me happy. And those articles are really written different than other articles. They're not like a science experiment on somebody. They really tell their background, and they tell about their grandma growing up. And then they explain why that research is important to them. And it's okay if you have your papers like that too. Because indigenous methodology is a little bit different than Western, but we can still do it in the format of MLA or APA. I know Dr. Anderson, all the AIS folks, they know that. But you guys know how to connect to me if you need anything. Once we have the articles up here, you would gather them. The tools, you can put your email in there and start collecting them. If your teacher wants you to have at least 3 articles, you might want to do 6 or 8. Because after a while you start reading it and think, whoa, that wasn't on it at all. You can put your email in there and I'll send it to you. Has anybody tried Zotero in here? You download Zotero onto your computer and then you share your article to Zotero and it holds them in folders. And maybe you might do this subject for another project. And this might be the subject that you really, really like. Become a senior, and you still have all your resources from your founding studies. That's an awesome article up there. You don't usually find this stuff in EBSCO. EBSCO is still trying. They're trying to become more like indigenous friendly. ProQuest, you'll usually find it in ProQuest, and you'll find it in Google Scholar. And if you use any of your native words for your own tribe or for the illness or some of the healing plants, if you use some of your traditional language in there, then you're going to start to find these indigenous articles. So little by little, becoming more accepted within Western academia and colleges, which is awesome. You guys have any specific questions? That's about all I'm going to take you into today. But you're welcome to keep on gathering stuff. Thanks, Tiffany.
Thank you, Carrie.
Is it off yet?
Is it off yet?
Is it off now?
Is it off now?